today in the market as we can see a lot of red happening, obviously a lot of stuff happening internationally. And in this channel, obviously we focus more kind of like the long-term story, the overall AI story. So feel free to come in, get any questions in that you might have about the AI market, and hopefully we got some cool topics. I know we saw Nvidia made an investment earlier today into companies like Coherent and Light. That overall is kind of driving some of these stock prices up. I did see there was some green in storm of this red. We do have Coherent up about 12%. Like I mentioned, right? I think Nvidia did make an investment in them. I haven't read it just yet, but Coherent up 12%. Air Technologies up about 8%. Light, which is another kind of winner of that investment with Nvidia, up roughly 6%. Then we also have a few other stocks. We have Credo on the green. We have Net, Oracle, 148. I'm surprised even Nvidia is up about 1.8% right now. So it it's definitely kind of like a scary time in the market, but I think that's why in this I try to always say I'm not leveraged in this space because there's always something that can happen that can create the volatility. Now I am using this to kind of look into some of the stocks I might want to add on to. Astera Labs is actually one I'm thinking about purchasing in later today. Astera Labs increasing my overall position there. But then CoreWeave is another one I'm thinking about here at 76. It's already a big position in my overall portfolio, but 76 I really do like. I don't know. It seems crazy red if you look at some things in the overall X account or on Twitter. But then when I'm looking at the overall portfolio and kind of looking at this list, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Google down roughly 2%. What's going with the Amazon? Amazon about 2% as well, 1% there. But first, good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's having a good time. Hopefully, everybody's safe out there. Let me just kind of start getting some of the comments here. Good morning. Is the baby next to you? LOL. He is not. I was looking off to the side. I was looking to my other screen. The baby's downstairs right now with the babysitter. Not even a baby anymore, right? Toddler. But this week my wife is out on work travel, so it's just me after the babysitter leaves. So wish me luck, everybody. Wish me luck. I will be doing a little bit less videos, I think, this week. Luckily, we don't have too many earnings, but if I do less videos, it's not because the market got me scared or anything. It's just because I'm really busy with the little one after pretty much after he wakes up from his nap, which is fine for me. But just in case anybody is curious why my videos might be slower to this week. Good morning. What's going on? Hola, hola. Good morning, Jose. Big Bears earnings. What are your thoughts on CoreWeave and Nebius? I mean, I like both of them. Obviously, CoreWeave is getting a lot more beat up lately. If we kind of look at, let's just look at the overall stocks real quick. CoreWeave stock. I mean, you know me, I'm long-term bullish in the AI infrastructure build out. So CoreWeave at levels we saw on February 5th, so a little bit about a month ago. And what is Nebius? I think Nebius is actually a little bit higher. I do think the market did like Nebius earnings a bit more. So Nebius, we kind of that February dump that we saw with a lot of AI infrastructure, Nebius is definitely holding up a lot better. I like them both. But yeah, like me, I'm more into CoreWeave, and I'm very bullish into the overall space. Looking forward to the day I can terribly. Oh man, that's crazy. Is it terribly run because of the stock price, Tom? I feel like I always see this, right? And not anything towards you, but it's like people like a company and they say it's the best company when stock prices go up, but then if stock prices go down, it's the opposite, right? So what was curious to see when you bought the company, what has the thesis changed, right? I'm curious to hear from you, like what has the thesis changed from when you bought the company to how you have it now? Because to me, I don't think much has changed from the actual company itself, right? I think it's the exact same company. I think when even if you bought during IPO, it was a company that was meant to go very heavy and aggressive in AI investment. So curious to see what has changed. Um, Hi, Jose. What's going on? Hello, hello. I'm back from vacation. My precious AMT is dead. Ed, go back to vacation. Save the market. I want to consider it dead. 194. I'm surprised. I'm surprised. AMD is in the 190s after the Meta deal and after the OpenAI deal. This is actually another one that I'm gonna probably want to add a little bit more into. After the Meta deal, I mean, the market here, I think the market is definitely scared of an Nvidia green, 2.2%. It's just scared, right? Is Capex gonna cap this year? I was actually looking. It does seem like at least from the let's show the fiscal.ai/Jose really quickly. Um, but if we look at charting, if we look at Capex, this is up to quarter four of 2025, right? So this is where we're at right now. And this is kind of pulling analyst expectations. And analysts are expecting quarter one of 2027 for there to be a sequential decline, even though it's a year over year growth compared to quarter one of 2026 estimates. At least right now, how the market has it modeled is that we expect to see a sequential decline in capex in quarter one of 2027. So I think that's what the market is a little bit fearful of, right? Let's see. So we got 2023 gainer giving us some greens. There are some greens, right? So we have Nvidia, GRR. I don't follow a lot of them. How old is my little one? My little one is two and a half. Two and a half. Hey Jose, what do you think needs to happen? Put the Nvidia bears to rest post earnings so the bulls can run again. Jaded I I wish I knew the answer to this, right? I mean, to kind of change the sentiment of the overall market. I mean, Nvidia had great earnings. Um, right. What is Nvidia's forward PE ratio? What do I think has to change? Hmm. I think one thing that can really change the market is if I think most AI innovations right now are pushing still through to kind of like the software space, the enterprise space, the business world. And while there are some cool stuff in AI for the consumer, I don't think there's anything that has completely stuck, in my opinion. Right? I don't know if right. I think for AI in the software space, that has stuck. I think that has really stuck for software engineers, for anybody who wants to learn how to do software. But I think in the consumer space, nothing really has stuck. In forms of what can AI do for me as a consumer, as just like an average day Joe. I don't think we have that it product. We have products that are working on it, right? I mean, advertisement, that's all pretty much with AI, but it's not like the people understand, oh, the reason I'm getting all these great ads or the reason I'm getting recommended all these great videos or pictures is because of AI. I think one of the biggest things is when there is that app that finally kind of just consumes the consumer market, if that makes sense, for maybe some sentiment change. I think though, eventually the market is going to wake up. I don't believe Nvidia can trade at a forward PE ratio of 21 for a long time. Right. I think just multiple expansions, is a massive tailwind, for Nvidia. I mean, if we go to 25 forward PE ratio, that's a little bit over a 10% stock price. So that Nvidia stock price is 180, so an $18 price, so closer to 200. If we go to 25, then if we go to 27, it's probably closer to like 220. I think just multiple expansion is also another massive opportunity, um, for that. Kids are the best. You are blessed. I love it. I love it. It's amazing. I only have one. Um, I don't know how sometimes I don't know how people who have more than one can actually handle it, but it's the greatest thing ever. What do you think about Credo earnings today? I think they are going to crush it. 113 seems cheap to me. I mean, on one end, right? After earnings, the stock I think is going to provide great numbers. What we're hearing from the AI infrastructure build out, I think they're just going to provide strong numbers. Now, I just don't know how the market will react. One good thing though is, like you mentioned, the stock is down roughly 15% on the month. From its overall 6-month high, the stock is down 40%. So it already, I feel like a lot of the excitement has been tamed. And if they do give us some, it's just like what's priced in, right? What's priced in, and that's always the hard part of it. Um, but I think they are going to destroy earnings. I mean, I think a lot of the AI semiconductor companies have crushed earnings. Now it's all about how much expectation and how much has been priced in. So today we do have this Credo report today. Lumentum has an event. We saw the Core Scientific, yeah, Credo Technologies does report today on a their quarter 3 earnings. Core Scientific, another kind of AI infrastructure name, does report as well today. Um, and then we have some Morgan Stanley events. Applied Materials, Teradyne is here. Tomorrow, I think is going to be pretty fun. Tomorrow, we have some cool names. We have CrowdStrike. We have Astera Labs at Morgan Stanley. We have Navitas at Morgan Stanley. We have Alphabet at Morgan Stanley. We have Seagate at Morgan Stanley. Wednesday, we have Nvidia at Morgan Stanley. CoreWeave and Nebius at Morgan Stanley on Wednesday as well. So Wednesday is going to be a fun event if you are into the AI market. Um, uh, so I don't have any real thoughts. I mean, let's just kind of, if some are curious, let's maybe just jump into what the market is expecting. At least let's kind of look into that. So Credo Technology Group. Let's look at what the market is expecting in regards to first forward PE ratio, 28.78 now. That's actually what. Wow, that is. Hmm. Maybe I might want to. I mean, this one was trading kind of north of 50s in October. Um, that's actually pretty good. It's actually not as crazily expensive as I thought it was going to be. I know they just made that acquisition of kind of LECs. Um, LACs, laser active cables. No, active electric. ALCs, active laser cables or active LED cables. One of those lasers or LED cables. I forget what the actual acronym stays. But there's, I mean, massive growth opportunity for here as the AI market continues to expand, as AI infrastructure continues to grow. So forward PE ratio 28.78 for a grower like this. I'm kind of shocked, right? I am kind of shocked is that low. Let's kind of look at total revenues, what the market is expecting. Let's look at quarterly. So in November, they did 268. What is expected for them for revenue? Massive $387 million. So a huge step up expected this quarter. And I think they are going to hit it. That would be wow. That would be almost a 3x versus year-over-year growth. So over 200% year-over-year growth. That would be wild. Right? Total revenue change. 187% growth. And then for the guidance, what would they be looking for? So for April, you would be looking for a guidance of roughly 410 million. I think both are going to be crushed and beat. So yeah, I'm actually surprised that this is trading at is kind of in the really low. I mean, it is kind of pulling up now. Some of this market is waking back up. But yeah, interesting here. Best of luck if you are a Credo shareholder. I gotta see. Maybe I might think of something to do here with Credo. What's going on, Daniel? Hi. US today. What's going on? Love to travel. Love to travel as well. Um, yeah, talking about AMD, right, Edster, right, Meta deal should have been good news, but I think yes, I think this is one of the biggest kind of pains for AMD now, right? You have two deals with the MI450 for AMD. You have the deal with OpenAI, and you have the deal with Meta. So, and both those deals are pretty much just equity share. You have to dilute some equity. So the market is saying, hey, is your new chip really that good, or do you need to give up that equity to kind of be able to sell it? I can understand, right? And someone mentioned it earlier. The market is always right. And if you think the market is wrong, then you're actually the wrong one. I think that phrase is a bit different. It's like the market is right for the fears and the risk. So the market's risk is like fear. It's like, hey, is this going to be the new standard for advanced micro devices? Are we going to have to continue to dilute shares for AMD? I don't think it's necessarily gonna. I think there's a possibility it could happen one more time, either with Anthropic or XAI, but I think after that, it's not going to happen anymore, right? I don't think there's going to be. Uh, they're only doing it with AI labs and big AI labs. So if we see it, I think it's either going to be with Anthropic or with XAI, and I personally believe both would be somewhat bullish. Just because of the opportunity of them being able to create chips that are meant for certain workloads, and they'll be able to get billions of dollars in revenue of that. But I understand the market fear. Nice. Oh wow, nice. Mine are 9, 5, and 2. Half 2.5 is starting to be funny. Um, it's they're hilarious. The things they say, the things they copy, it is wild. Best stuff. Good, a lot of fun, a lot of health to your little ones. Um, so thank you. Appreciate for sharing there. Let's see what else. Tony, AMD is down because insiders are selling a lot. I do you I don't know. You know what? I don't think the more I think there's a lot of articles that come out with, and this is just with typical insiders. It's like, what percentage of the insiders are selling and how much of their overall holdings are they selling? Like, for example, there's always been, I'm thinking about it like when Nvidia has Jensen selling it, the market goes, people on X and people on kind of social media and even on my YouTube videos say, Jose, Jensen is selling, this is the top. But a lot of these just have kind of like a quarterly, a monthly, or whatever selling. I personally don't find that as bearish unless you're like letting go of like 100% of your equity in just a month or so, right? If you're just selling pretty much everything completely, but if you're selling 5% of your portfolio over time, I personally don't find that too crazy. Um, have fun with your little guy. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I think a lot of bad news are priced in general in the AI space. I think so too. I think there's I mean, obviously, Iran was kind of like something that was also getting a lot of fear before it even happened. Now the question is, how much fear was priced in? Is it actually worse? Is it actually better? So curious to see how all this plays out. But in the AI space, you have the Capex story, you have AI not providing ROI, you have depreciation fears, you have so much fears in the AI market right now. Now, I think the only thing we have to see is, and this is going to take time, is also financials start to paint that picture, right? Amazon, Meta, Google, which they already are, Microsoft need to paint that picture of, look, we are seeing strong ROI on these products. And I think that also changes the optics of a lot of these bearish cases. Now, unfortunately, many people might say, Jose, there's no ROI or ROI in AI right now. You're seeing companies like Amazon going free cash flow negative or expected to go free cash flow negative this year. I do think a lot of this is, if everybody was top AI capex investing right now, the numbers would be amazing. But right now, because you're doing all these investments, it does cloud or paint the picture a little bit different. Um, and it's creating kind of like a fogginess of what's really happening. But I do believe the AI market is helping accelerate a lot and a lot of these players. Um, Did this one? I'm actually shocked with this one, right? Louis wondering, why is Nvidia green and AMD down and other stocks down? Did Nvidia announce anything, or is war just good? I don't necessarily think that war is good. Um, I think it's more just actual, one stock got compressed a lot after amazing earnings. I think is the I think sometimes this one has been hit a little bit harder. I mean, if we look at just forward PE ratios, I was looking, right. Nvidia is at 21.94. Let's kind of pull up for AMD right now, and it's like, Maybe the market sees the valuation of 21 being okay. This is the bottom, right? This is where I feel comfortable adding for AMT, right? The forward PE ratio is 29.37. It's like, all right, maybe I can still drop it a little bit more with these uncertainties in the market. Let me I might want to exit out of AMT right now, just because it is at a higher valuation. So I think valuation also plays away within the risk of what's happening, and one being more undervalued, because maybe a little bit more of a safe haven, compared to one that's a little bit higher. I'm not saying AMD it's overvalued, but if the market, if I was to look, if I was a new investor and I was to see Nvidia trading at forward PE ratios of 21, I'll be like, okay, this is where I would rather put my money right now. Um, Oh, this is true, right, Jacob? Going back to Credo, they did kind of report their numbers, but unfortunately, even though Astera Labs did great numbers as well, the pump didn't last, right? I think the pump didn't last much. I wonder if it was here. Maybe it was here. But then this is the pump. Let's go back. Let's go 6 months. I think this was the preliminary pump, right? It jumped about 37%. And now it's down 15%. So from that pump, it's only up about still up a nice amount, up about 16 percent. Pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised with this. AMT go back. I mean, I think the market, at least for the next few days, is going to obviously be, or however long this lasts. At least right now, for the a lot of the initial news, a lot of the initial stuff that's happening, a lot of the initial responses that are going to go through. So I think the market is going to be extremely volatile within the next f- for the next few times. Um, and yeah, sorry, 1 second. My nanny just texted me. Let me just text her really quick. Hold on. Sorry about that. So yeah, I was texting. AMD deals actually diluting shareholders. And usually, yes. So this is the thing, right? It is actually diluting. But the thing is, they have mentioned, management did mention that while it is diluting shareholders, it's still accredited to earnings per share after that dilution, right? That's how I'm understanding it. So if that's true, that's okay with me. I'm personally okay with me. I wouldn't be happy if it was a deal where the shares were diluting and earnings per share were also going to be kind of like, if there was no real growth with it. But if you're, even though you're diluting me, but you're actually making more money for me even after dilution, why would I mind about that, right? Why would I? And then you get a new partnership as well with Meta. You get a new partnership with OpenAI to help you develop and see how AI chips are going. I'm still okay with it. What's going on, bullish? I ran to 100 before the end of the year. Sandy, all-time highs. I know a lot of Iron shareholders that would love for this to happen. Oh wow, massive turnaround here with Iron. Wow, what happened here? I know my baby isn't. Neither is this one. I was expecting this one. CoreWeave, I knew would be red. Right, I knew CoreWeave would be there. Um, um, I thought Nebius maybe would have seen a nice Iron pull up. Big Buccaneer says there are rooms AMD may have a deal with Microsoft. Any insight? I don't have any insights of this, Aaron. I mean, Big Buck, but I could see it, right? The reason I see it is, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. Microsoft AMD. MI 450s. I don't see anything just yet. But to me, Big Buck, the reason I would see that this is possible is Lisa Su has actually talked about it in the past, right? If let's say you're OpenAI, right, and you're going to Amazon and you're going to all these other cloud players and you're saying, look, I want to run on your cloud. I want to use your solutions, but I also have a lot of solutions that are actually run pretty well on AMD GPUs. I'm gonna allocate this money to you if you build GPU data centers with AMD. All right, because my workloads do amazing there. Now with Amazon might be a little bit tricky, but with Microsoft, I think it's actually a lot easier. So I believe that with this partnership with OpenAI, if AMD and OpenAI make certain workloads a lot easier and a lot more efficient, then OpenAI has the ability, and Microsoft, obviously being a big investor of OpenAI, has more to win to it, right? If your workloads can actually go cheaper, it's a win for Microsoft as well. So with Microsoft and this OpenAI, I can kind of see like OpenAI saying, look, Microsoft, we've worked with AMD to make this chip to kind of solidify some of the workloads. You are one of our primary cloud server providers. It would be helpful if you guys build maybe not a data center, but some AI infrastructure based on AMD GPUs. And obviously, Microsoft runs a lot of their AI solutions using OpenAI as well, their co-pilots and everything else. So even if maybe OpenAI doesn't need it, and Microsoft can say for our internal workloads that we're using OpenAI's APIs and OpenAI's model, maybe it makes more sense for us to go with AMD GPUs for those workloads. I think it's all kind of dependent on what workloads they would. Um, okay, but let's go with Louis. I don't know, Louis. Here, Louis is kind of discussing about kind of this ban for 170. I don't think so because the ban will follow. It would be more like an uptrend ban as long as Nvidia continues to see expansion growth, right? I mean, if you see in the next earnings, the next 12 months forward PE ratio will drop again because they will be making more earnings per share. So in theory, it might be a ban, but that ban will only get better and better. And let's see. Let me pull it up. I see Big Buck just send me the rumors. Let me just pull it up real quick. Um, so is AMD rumors true? As of March 2nd of 2026, reports of a 3 gigawatt, and let me just follow. Oh, they follow me. Follow back. Long game equity as of March 2nd, report a 3 gigawatt deal with Azure or Google Cloud provider platform are unconfirmed, but fit the platter. Following the 6 gigawatt Meta and OpenAI deal, hyperscalers are clearly moving to diversify. With forward PE attractive, um, if I may be honest, I would see more possibility with Azure than Google Cloud. Um, I think Google has really done extremely well with their Trainium, not their Trainium, sorry, with their TPUs. That I don't think they really need it that much just yet, unless they're just trying to expand AI infrastructure like no tomorrow. But I would more likely think Azure would do it opposed to Google Cloud Platform. Let's see what else we have here. And if I missed some of your questions, gentlemen and gentle ladies, feel free to post them as well. Um, what if next AMD customers will ask for their shares? I don't think so, right? I mean, they'll try to ask. Maybe AMD would be like, "We'll give you a discount or something." But I don't with these partnerships that AMD has with OpenAI and Meta. OpenAI and Meta are also giving stuff into the chip itself, right? It's not like they're just giving equity for chips. With AMD and OpenAI, the both of them are kind of helping with kind of not necessarily co-design the chip, but help see where the AI workloads are moving into. So then AMD can make a better chip because it knows, hey, look, this is the type of workloads that are being seen by a lot of the AI labs. And if that's being seen by the AI labs, and remember, if you trickle it down, right, there's only going to be a few AI labs. You have Llama, if it gets better, or I forget the new one, Avocado. You have obviously GPT with OpenAI. You have Anthropic, and then you have Grok with XAI. Those are most likely going to. There might be others, but at least those four are going to be, I think, some of the top players for at least the next 2 years. Any enterprise player or cloud player that builds any form of AI solutions is most likely going to be working with one of those. So if you see improvements in one workloads, then it can kind of even trickle down to the enterprise market. But first, you need to stop you need to keep working with these AI labs to make sure you can work with them really well. Because if they do end up doing good, then the enterprise market might follow you as well. Let's see, what else do we have here? Um, Sandy has a question. Why would someone buy Amazon growing at 13% per year while having a 4P of 28? There's a reason why it's underperforming ETS like 95% against 40%. Uh, I mean, this makes sense, Andy. Um, I mean, I think there's a lot to be excited for Amazon still, right? You have the advertisement market, you have the cloud business growth, you have them being kind of like an AI player into it. Bro, why do you never focus on ASML? So ASML, I mean, I, I I don't know why you mentioned I don't focus on this one. I don't focus on it right now at 1400s, right? I don't think there's much to focus on ASML right now in the 1400s. We were focusing on ASML a lot. I would say kind of like um beginning of 2025 throughout this time frame, right? Like at 753, I think I focused a nice amount of time on ASML and equipment players. ASML, Lam Research. I'm just not gonna I'm not gonna follow it at these times, right? I don't think, for me, it's where I believe the massive growth opportunities are. Just kind of like what Sandy was talking about, kind of like why would people, even though I like Amazon, I kind of like Sandy's point, I would put it here. Like, I don't know why I would follow ASML at these levels when we've seen forward PE ratio expand dramatically. Yes, we know the market is going to pick up with all these capex, but I, I I don't think it's the risk to reward is to my favor if I was buying new shares right now. If I was holding, that's a whole different story. But buying new shares, I don't think there's, for me, the time to focus here. I think there's other opportunities out there. Um, what's going on? Best self improvement. Sup, Jose? Sup? How's it going? And I mean, we've talked a little bit about it, Kevin, already. I think it's just kind of the fear of the AI space being the number two or number three, if you count Broadcom as number one. I think there's a lot of just fear for AMD, and you haven't really gotten the results, right? Every other player, you've gotten the results of AI sales from Broadcom, right? They're growing their AI sales. You've gotten the results from Nvidia. You haven't really gotten the results of AMD just yet. So it's like there is a growth story, but the growth story still hasn't really begun. And it's like, what is the uncertainty behind that? Um, I haven't talked about Astera Labs just yet. I just mentioned there a little bit at the beginning of the episode that this is one I wouldn't mind buying right now. So this is one that I haven't bought yet. I kind of looked at the portfolio at the market when I turned on the live stream. But this is one that I am curious into buying during this downturn right now at 117, and might be even dabbling into Credo as well. I still haven't made the decision on Credo. But on Astera Labs, this is one I do want to add during this sell off. Let's see. Another recent question, Jose. Are you bullish on any quantum stocks, or is your quantum play Nvidia? I wouldn't say Nvidia. I'm not bullish on quantum. I'm not. I have no. I. What? How can I say this? I think quantum has an opportunity in the future. I think right now, I still would rather play the AI, the chip race, the semiconductor market. Um, I don't know if I would want to play the quantum market just yet. Now, there could be companies that are doing niche stuff and getting market opportunities and seeing revenue growth. I think there's a really big winner in the overall quantum market right now. Is it IonQ? I don't know if it's IonQ or D-Wave. I forget what it is. Or is it Rigetti? I don't know. One of these is actually doing really good. Um, I think, is it any of them? I don't know. There's one of them that I think again I don't follow it, and I don't. So Nvidia wouldn't be. I wouldn't say I'm in quantum. I'm in Nvidia for some quantum. I don't think we're going to see any quantum revenue or quantum innovations from Nvidia at least this year or next year. I think they're just so down pack into the kind of their own AI infrastructure and chip architecture. Um, But if I wanted to, I could say maybe obviously Nvidia, they have kind of their quantum CUDA Q software solutions. They have the hybrid approach. Then like you can say that Google and Microsoft are also kind of doing a lot of things in the quantum space. So those two as well. Um, but I'm not. I wouldn't say like if there were top 10 reasons for me to own Nvidia or Microsoft or Google, I don't think quantum makes it on that 10 list, right? It's more like a future growth opportunity. Um, let's see. What else do we have here? We have a few questions here. I'm gonna take this one next from DJ3. DJ3, is Mag 7 free cash flow getting closer to zero after 2026 spending the main reason for Nvidia trading sideways? I think, yeah, yes and no, right? I think that's one of the reasons Nvidia trades sideways is it's the side effect of free cash flow going negative. If free cash flow goes negative, does that mean that they're not going to invest more on Nvidia, right? Does that mean that that creates a cap for these giants? And let's kind of see what the market is expecting here. Let me just jump into Nvidia here. Curious up 2.7%. Let's look at charting. I mean, here I showed this chart a little bit earlier, but let's open it back up. This is market expectations on Capex. Uh, this is where we're at right now, $118 billion with Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Meta. Now, if we actually look ahead, uh, from 118 million where we're at right billion where we're at right now, the market believes it can go to 182 billion by the end of quarter four of 2026 and a sequential growth. But then by 2027, the market is expecting a sequential decline. I think a lot of the models still haven't been updated, but I do think this is a fear where is this the top? Is quarter four 2026 going to be the top of CapEx? I'm curious to see if maybe we can look at free cash flow. Can we see free cash flow expectations? Um, oh, we actually can. All right, let's actually look at free cash flow expectation. What is the market seeing here? We don't want to see CapEx right now, but free cash flow. Um, let's see. Give me one quick second. I just want to. So we're right here, quarter four of 2025. In quarter four of 2025, everybody was still positive in free cash flow. Green is Meta, purple is Google, orange is Amazon, and Microsoft is blue. Quarter four, everybody was positive free cash flow. This is what the market is expecting for quarter one of 2026. For quarter one of 2026, the market is expecting Amazon to go negative free cash flow, negative 10 billion, and to be negative free cash flow pretty much the whole year, minus quarter four. So the whole year, 3 out of the 4 quarters, Amazon is expected to be negative free cash flow. The only one that's really supposed to be really nice, positive, and free cash flow, the market is saying Microsoft, which I don't know. I don't know why. I thought Microsoft would be investing a lot heavier. But Microsoft, heavy free cash flow here now. Um, Google is expected to kind of almost go to negative free cash flow in quarter two of 2026. That is wild, right? Free cash flow for Google in quarter two of 2026 is expected to almost not be there. And we can see for Meta being the green one. I wish we would have done a little bit different colors. But Meta being the green, you can see Meta is also looking like it might go like close to zero free cash flow. Um, so this is a fear, right? Massive, massive free cash flow destruction. I believe actually where free cash flow is going to be a lot stronger as we are turning on a lot of GPUs and they are going to be getting a lot of that RPO revenue, at least for Microsoft, for Google, and maybe for Amazon. But I think this paints the picture of what the market is truly scared of. It's like we're really getting to this free cash flow negative levels where Google, Amazon, and even Meta are getting close to really low free cash flow. Um, let's see. Let's see if I have another question. Let me pull up another one. Yeah, Mike, right? Interesting, right? Certain stocks are green. We have Nvidia green, Microsoft is green, but then we have a lot of still big players. Is TSM? How is TSM doing? TSM looks like it might break green by the end of the day. 0.7%. What is ASML at? ASML down 2%. I don't think we could see there. Broadcom looking like it's trying to get to that green, right? Some of these are pulling up a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit more green. I'm sorry. I just jinxed it. It's all going down from here. I am sorry. But Nvidia up 3%, right? So, I think in this volatile space market, you can't really time anything or price anything. Claude keeps messing up today, Crypto Night. The actual solution, like Claude, or what's going on with Claude and kind of the AI space and the government. I don't know. I don't know if it was Big Buck that I was talking to. It's like it's never good thing Claude isn't public because I don't think it's fun when you're messing with the any government, right? I don't think it matter with the whatever administration, but just the government. You never want to be enemies with them. And I know there's been a lot more discussions of Claude no longer being used, which is lame because I thought Claude is actually one of my top AI models. I do think Claude is really really useful, um, but that's a whole drama. I'm pretty sure in the next year or so, we're gonna get the Netflix documentaries on Claude, on OpenAI, on all this drama, why like Anthropic and OpenAI CEO do not want to hold hands. So yeah. Best self improvement. What do you think about circular deal and Barry statements? I don't know what I haven't really seen Barry statements. I don't read. I don't read his stuff. I mean, with the circular deal, I I think a circular deal is only an actual case when my chips, let's say my chips cost $100 billion and I give you $100 billion and you give me that $100 billion back. That's where I think circular deals are scary. Even if it's like 50%, let's say my chips are $100 and I give you $50. But that's not what's happening, right? I'm giving you it's like Nvidia and all these companies, like I'm giving you $20 billion, but what you're paying for is going to be like 180, $200 billion. It's like a 10% discount. I think it's being used more as a discount rate. But it's still profitable for the AI space. It's just a way to incentivize and subsidize the AI market to continue to evolve, right? The AI market is such a new stage, right? It's such a new stage. And I talked about this. I went on Tanner's live stream maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I mentioned that what Nvidia is trying to do is the AI market is still new. It's in its infancy stage, right? It's maybe not infancy. It's maybe a toddler right now, if that, a toddler. But you have all these taller companies. And Nvidia is pretty much the dad with massive amount of money. What Nvidia is trying to do is help them grow little bit by little bit, right? giving them a little bit of allowance to make sure this whole ecosystem grows like no tomorrow, right? You don't want a market where just OpenAI survives. If OpenAI survives and that's the only AI play, they're not going to have incentives to innovate. And if they don't innovate, then there's not going to need for more data center solutions. NVIDIA is working and giving money to all AI cloud players, to all AI infrastructure players, to all AI labs, and it's forcing to all memory players, to all optics players, as we saw Coherent and Lumentum. And the reason is, hey, if you want to keep up with me, you guys need to continue to innovate. If we continue to innovate, new technologies are going to come out. And when new technology is going to come out, you're going to see even more and more demand. So I think NVIDIA is just rising this whole AI ecosystem. And I think it's actually extremely smart. I think it's extremely, extremely smart. Again, I think circular deal is more um, if they were giving uh like 50% off or something like that. But no, I mean it's barely enough uh to cover like 10% of the chips that they're buying. Probably a lot less than that. Fred here, I'm deep in AI kind of worried. Worried in what sense, Fred? In what sense? We'd love to hear what you're worried about. Software is up because of IGV. ETF is up, but which one is up, right? I mean, which one drives the green, right? Does buying, because obviously, if you buy the individual stock, it creates the excitement for it appreciates the asset under the ETF, so the ETF goes up. And if you buy the ETF, you actually have to put money into those assets, and that drives the thing. But which comes first, right? Who goes up first, the ETF or the asset? Um, so the thesis here I was talking to Taw here. He mentioned earlier that he was selling the company, his position in CoreWeave, because he doesn't think management is handling the thing well. So I asked him what has changed in regards to his thesis without, or is it just the stock price? And he mentions the thesis regarding CoreWeave hasn't changed. I knew they carried debt, but the amount of debt they're carrying is staggering. So it doesn't seem the thesis has changed. It's more like the stock price has changed, right? I like CoreWeave, but it looks like it can go way lower just due to the increasing debt risk. So I closed my position and will look to reopen at a lower entry. Hello, me. When did you close? In the 70s here? Best of luck on your re-entry. Best of luck. I mean, this did touch around $60 a few months ago, right? Where it was in the 64s, 64.55. For me, I think we're closer to the bottom than we are to the top. But best of luck there. Um, let's see any questions. Let's see here. So that Jose QQs are the QQQ stocks are showing nearing the 200-day moving average. Do you think it's good to get out of chip stocks, AMD? I don't. I mean, I don't. I'm not a technical guy, right? I don't follow technical stocks. But I would say one of the from my very top level technical knowledge, don't people wait out to see if you bounce off the 200-day moving average? Right? If you bounce off, you could either bounce off the 200-day moving average or you can drop below. And if you drop below, that's the bearish line. If you bounce up, that's the bullish sign. Um, but no, I personally, I can, when I invest in stocks, I don't expect the money next year or 2 years from now. So I'm not selling in the AI chip stocks in this environment where compute is the issue, where you need more and more compute, where demand continues to go up. When you're seeing all these big players increasing capex like no tomorrow, like this is not the time where I would be selling based on some technical stuff. Um, maybe it could save me in the short term. But I don't want to take that risk. I feel like there's more risk in following a technical aspect than following a fundamental aspect to my thesis. Eh. Are you researching into space data center place? I have been looking into kind of some of the stuff there, but not really big buck. I think my biggest thing right now has been in the memory market. Um, I think I have some time in the space play for data centers right now, but I think in the memory market, I have more of an I have more opportunity to do research right now. I'm planning to sell half of my Nvidia stocks as soon as it reaches $1,381, looking to reduce some volatility at that point. Palmer, if it reaches that, reaches that, I might be selling with you a little bit more too. If it reaches 1,381. If you had to short one company, you had to pick which one are you, and you have to pick which one are you thinking about first. If I had to short one company, oh my God, this is wild. I don't know. If I had to short one company, what would it be? Let me know what you guys would pick, right? What would be one company you guys would short? I'm not saying go short it, but if you had to pick one, what would you short? What is your short? Let me look at some of the stocks out here. Oh man, what would I short? Ooh, if I had to pick one? Holy smokes. Hmm. Normally, I would say it's like one of these excitement stocks, like the optics play. You see Light and Coherent, or some of the memory plays like Micron. These are typically cyclical stocks, but this cycle can last a lot longer. Even though I'm skeptical on them, I wouldn't short them. So I wouldn't short them just because the cycle is going to last a while. Hmm. I can't give you. I would short a short ETF, a short semiconductor ETF. If there's a short semiconductor ETF, that's what I would short because that would make me bullish on it, right? Hmm. I don't think I can pick one, especially the ones on my watch list. I don't think I can pick something that I would short. Hmm. How many? If I had to pick from what I'm looking right now, if I had to pick one, maybe Dell. I think Dell, maybe. No, but I mean, it's not like I'm completely oil. People say oil, D wave. Okay, yeah, maybe quantum names, but having quantum names, I think maybe if I had to, and like a popular name right now, maybe even I think popular a popular name, I would go something with Joseph, probably a Tesla, but I don't know. GameStop. I mean, I don't follow the other markets to know. Like, I don't know what's going on with GameStop. How many Pokemons are they selling? Right? How many Pokemons are they selling? Navitas might be up there. I think Navitas may be there. I have to short one. Um, yeah, this is what I would do, right? Short the shorts on Nvidia. That's what I would do. um, I don't know if I would say quantum names because I feel like we were just looking at the quantum names. A lot of quantum names took a massive hit. I'm here for the trashy shorts. Ah, yo, I honestly don't know. I'm very skeptical of shorting. Um, Because there's always an opportunity for every company. It's like this. I don't like Tesla, but never short it. I mean, I wouldn't short it. I'm just saying, someone told me I had to pick one. I think there's always an opportunity for stocks. There's always a bullish reason. There's always a reason the stock can turn around. What small caps you know of that are super? I'm just not a fan of shorting, no matter how crazy anything is. What small camps you know of that are super run up right now? Super. I don't. BM&R. I don't know. Is could that be? I. What are you looking forward for GTC? So one thing I'm just all the different keynotes that I'm gonna be able to watch. Um, a few that I really want to watch is let's go to GTC Nvidia. So obviously the main keynote, right? Obviously the main keynote is something I'm extremely excited about. I also want to check out this one, the TPU, not TPU, sorry, um, not TPU, LPU, language processing unit. There's going to be on Monday, March 16th at 5 p.m. There's going to be a session about GPUs and LPUs. I really want to listen to that one. There's going to be Astera Labs is going to talk about accelerating rack scale connectivity for NVIDIA Blackwell and Vera Rubin. So I'm actually excited about this one. This is going to be on Tuesday. On Tuesday. So I'm curious on that one. Um, let's see. What else would I be? I know CoreWeave is going to be there. So just learning more about CoreWeave as well on March 16th. CoreWeave, real cloud infrastructure for real AI workloads, training and inference. So I think it's just more. This is more of a technical. It's not a. It's a technicals, right? Where developers, where engineers go. So it's more about learning the ins and outs of a lot of these technologies. So those are three I'm really excited, right? The Xterra, the CoreWeave, and the Grok LPUs. I'll probably anything in the robotic space. I'm going to be looking into as well. I think Tesla's actually going to be there for something. This is one I'm actually excited about as well. It seems like it might be doing a time as something else, but from concept to production, humanoid robotics at scale. Nvidia is going to be there, and some Tesla's VP of technology, VP of AI, is going to be there. Um, so curious to learn about there. So there's so many things. But anything that has to do with robotics and AI data centers are the ones I'm more excited about. A15, AAOI, no thoughts from here. Here. Um, are you wearing your leather jacket? I actually don't have a leather jacket. I'm not. I don't have one. Should I buy one? I wonder how many people are going to be walking around there with leather jackets. You think some people are going to do that? Do you think people are going to be there wearing leather jackets? Um, I'm curious about Grok as well. I think that was going to be interesting. I really do. Um, I would start Ondas or something else with extreme. Um, Jose, I'm setting up an open cryogenic agent today. Was wondering if you have had any experience with it. I haven't at the moment, Michael. I haven't, but I mean, in forms of LLMs, I would be running. It depends. I mean, if you have the system, if you have a good system, maybe some open source. Nemotron from Nvidia, I heard is pretty good. Um, if not, I would just be calling APIs from. I personally like Claude, so just set up a key for Claude and just be pulling APIs from there. Claude is my favorite, but I guess it also depends on what agents you're working with. One thing that I would do is whatever task you're doing before um, before choosing a model, just test that individual prompt or task on their end and see which model you prefer. Um, but I think Claude has been my top to go to for a lot of my AI solutions. What do you think of Applied Digital, Jose Najarro? Good to buy now or sell? Do you see future falling even further? I mean, I personally talked about it. I'm not a fan of. They started their own cloud division though, right? Did they just start their own cloud division? Um, I'm not a fan of just pure power shells, but I think Applied Digital, if I may be remember, they're kind of starting their own cloud or AI infrastructure outside of just power shells. That is interesting. So there's opportunity there. Uh, but with a market cap of 7.881, and what's iron? Iron is like 14, 13. I don't know. I think like it's like at that point, it's like where would you choose, right? How would you choose to play? Um, like with the $8 billion valuation and most deals are power shells, would you rather go with the $13 billion valuation and you have some backings of a big player, or would you rather go with someone who's a lot more mature in the space and $22 billion market cap? Um, I don't know. It's only where you prefer. I'm not a huge fan of Applied Digital for the power shell play, but if they have other avenues, that's a whole different story. Yeah, so I mean, if it gets a bit pricey with that, then yeah, I feel like Nemotron has done really well. Kimi, I forget, I think has done really well as well for open source models. Um, it's either API or just go to Google or just rent out some cloud and if your infrastructure, if you don't have like crazy amount of Mac Minis or whatever, just cloud and then just use one of the open source models out there. But personally, I haven't tested out a lot of the open source, but I agree. Going with a Cloud API or something like that gets pricey. Um, so I wouldn't be scared. Going back to Applied Digital, I know a lot of people are worried, like if Nvidia sells their shares, is that negative to them? I don't think so. Um, I don't think it's bad that Nvidia came out of Applied Digital. Neither bullish nor bearish on it. I don't think it was bullish that they were in it either. Um, but if they started their own cloud, kind of see how that's moving. That's definitely an opportunity for them. Right, y'all. It's time for me to head out. I'm just gonna I need to go get some other stuff done. Like I mentioned this week, my wife is on work travel, so it's just me and the little one, and the babysitter in the morning. So I'll try to do a lot of the work in the morning. Um, while I have the time to do that, because I probably won't be doing much work at nighttime until the little one falls asleep. So appreciate you all coming in to hang out with me for an hour or so. Market I know it's gonna suck, um, but as long-term investors, I think we're here for the ride. Best of luck, and everybody stay safe. And see you all next time.